Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unit 5, The World Today. So, this unit will be talking exactly as it says, basically, the world we live in today and how we got to this point over the last 20, 30 years. Okay, so after the fall of the Soviet Union, there's a lot of power shifts going on because the Soviet Union is no longer one of the most powerful players in the world. The United States is certainly still a very, very powerful player, probably the most powerful in the world at this point in the early 90s. But things are changing. China is becoming more and more powerful, especially with trade and economics. And we are starting to see a lot of instability in places like the Middle East, especially because of um, kind of monetary reasons for things like oil and resources. And these really unfortunate instability, the instability that is happening leads people to pretty desperate measures. And so it's in the late kind of 90s, early 2000s that we start to see the unfortunate rise of terrorism in our world. I'm sure you have all heard of 9/11. It is probably the most famous terrorist attack of all time. But there's a lot going on, especially in the kind of early to mid 2000s, probably around the time a lot of you were born. And that's the time period that this is talking about. Now, within this terrorism lesson 22 section, this is where you will have your discussion and your focus notes. And these focus notes are about terrorism because it is a very, very unfortunate reality in today's world. We still see terrorist attacks throughout the world. And things like cyber terrorism have become more and more and more prevalent. So, you know, attacking or getting information from government resources and then sharing what are supposed to be, state secrets with the rest of the world. Things like that count as cyber terrorism. So you'll watch a quick video, visit a couple of websites, and kind of decide for yourself, you know, what is the most pressing threat in our country today? What do you think is kind of scary? And it's a scary thing to think about because it's what's happening today. But that's why history is so important because we can understand why things are happening the way they are. So then you move on to lesson 23, interdependence, which is basically all talking about how the world is a lot more interconnected today than it's ever been. Great example of this, y'all remember a couple of years ago when that giant ship blocked the Suez Canal, which has something like a third of all trade in the world goes through the Suez Canal, and that caused supply chain issues for months afterwards, right? Because the world is so incredibly interconnected. And that also leads to looking at some global issues and technology issues. Now, this unit is a little bit of a downer. It's kind of highlighting all of the pretty scary um, effects of the last 100 or so years of human history. But it is really, really important to know what these things are, why they are important, so that you can live your life as a kind of informed citizen. So I don't want me to like scare you guys with all of these things, but they are good things to know about. Okay, and then you will also do your the rough draft for your final project. So this is kind of the last piece before you turn in your full project. So that's Unit 5. Again, any questions at all, please let me know. But go ahead and dive in and have fun, friends. Thanks.